Hello everyone, today we're going to go through version 2.1 interface software of Align's G3 gimbal system. Before entering the interface software, the gimbal needs to be updated to the latest 2.1 version, and APS-M flight controller also needs to be updated to the latest 2.0 version. Power up the gimbal and connect the USB cable. After USB cable is connected, the interface software will automatically connect with the gimbal. Click on Gimbal G3 Setup menu. The first page is Gimbal Parameter Setup. In version 2.1, camera type selection is now based on weight, 1 kg or lighter, and 1 kg or heavier options. Select 1 kg or lighter if your camera plus lens is lighter than 1 kg. Select 1 kg or heavier if your camera plus lens is heavier than 1 kg. The parameters between the two options will be different. In this video, we are using GH4 camera, which the weight is less than 1 kg. Now we will adjust the gain parameters. For version 2.1, we will only need to adjust the gains for tilt axes. Pan and roll axes are accessible in the advanced parameter settings. We recommend not making any configuration changes in the advanced parameter settings. Tilt gain adjustment is very simple. Just move the gimbal's tilt axis downward. Rest your hand on the motor to feel any vibration while it's returning to neutral. If no vibrations were felt while it's returning to neutral, the P gain and power values can be increased. Increase in increments of 1 or 2. If vibration were felt, decrease P gain, D gain, and power value in increments of 1 or 2 until vibration disappears. The goal here is to find the maximum P gain and D gain values without any vibrations. This completes the tilt gain adjustment. After completing the tilt gain adjustment, click on the Next button to proceed to the next page. This page is for setting the control of gimbal functions. In other words, we're setting how your radio will control the gimbal functions. Decide if this will be a single RC transmitter control or dual RC transmitter control. Single RC transmitter means the multicopter and gimbal will both be controlled with one RC transmitter. Dual RC transmitter means a second RC transmitter will be used for gimbal control. First, we're going to demonstrate the setting for single transmitter use. For single transmitter type, set your receiver type to Align APS-M. Now we need to enter APS-M interface software to confirm channel assignments. To recap, for single transmitter use, we are going to confirm V2.1 Gimbal channel assignments in APS-M. Make sure your APS-M firmware is at version 2.0. Go to page 3 of the APS-M interface software. This page is the channel assignment for gimbal functions under single transmitter mode. New to APS-M version 2.0 is the user assignable 6 gimbal functions. The controllable functions include pan, tilt, roll, camera shutter, panoramic photo, and return to center. The channel mapping for each functions can be changed here. By default, the channel mappings are 9 for pan, 10 for tilt, 11 for roll, 12 for shutter, DG1 for panoramic, and DG2 for return to center. Here we want to note that for Futaba T14SG radio, even though it's a 14-channel radio, channel 13 is listed as DG1, so you must select DG1 here. If channel 13 is selected, it will not work. For channel 14, you must select DG2 here. After all 6 functions are mapped to a channel, we can now test each channel's functions. On the RC transmitter, each channel needs to have a switch assigned to it. Reminder, channel 13 on this radio is DG1 and channel 14 is DG2. On this Futaba T14SG, I have assigned LD left dial to channel 9 to control pan. You can assign it to any switch dial slider as you wish. For channel 9 pan, I have selected this dial. Turn this LD dial and watch for correct slider movement in the interface software, and also the gimbal is following the control function. For channel 10 tilt, I have assigned the right slider for control. Confirm correct slider movement in interface software as well as gimbal tilt movement. For channel 11 roll, I have assigned the right dial for control. Also confirm correct movement in interface software and gimbal. Normally, tilt will be controlled by this right slider. For channel 12, camera shutter and recording start, I map this spring-loaded switch SH. Flip the switch and confirm proper movement in the interface program. For channel 13, panoramic photo, I map to this switch SB. Flip the switch and confirm proper movement in the interface program. For channel 14, return to center, I map to this switch as F. Flip the switch and confirm proper movement in interface program as well as gimbal. For RC transmitters having less than 14 channels, you can select only the needed functions for channel mapping. For example, if my radio only has 10 channels and I want to use tilt control and shutter controls only, I can select channel 9 and channel 10 for function like this. After completing channel mapping in APS-M interface software, let's return to Gimbal interface software and continue configuring the Gimbal control mode. As we are setting up single RC transmitter, tilt is mapped to this slider as mentioned earlier. Pan and roll control are mapped to these dials. For single transmitter setup, we recommend setting gimbal control mode to angle mode. This will make controlling the position of gimbal easier. Now, if you're using dual RC transmitters, in other words, the gimbal and multicopter each has its own RC transmitter. Select the receiver type you are using for the gimbal RC transmitter. Here we are going to use again the Futaba 14SG to demonstrate second radio setup. For this radio, we will select Futaba S-Bus receiver type. Now we need to confirm proper movements by watching each of the 6 functions in the following window. For dual transmitter setup, we recommend switching gimbal control mode to speed mode. Check the tilt movement in interface software and gimbal. Now check the roll movement in interface software and gimbal. And check the pan movement in interface software and gimbal. In a dual transmitter setup, channel 5, 6, and 7 are mapped to shutter, panoramic photo, and return to center. So you will also need to map each of those channels to a switch of your preference. I used this switch for channel 5 shutter. Move the switch to confirm correct movement in software. I used this switch for channel 6 panoramic photo. Move the switch to confirm correct movement in software. For channel 7 return to center, I use this switch. Move the switch to confirm correct movement in software and gimbal. This completes setting for dual RC transmitter mode. If you prefer not to use some of the functions, those functions could be disabled by selecting Close in the menu. This can be used to free up certain channels for other uses. Now we move on to the next settings page. For each of the axes, the camera tracking mode setup lets you configure either lock or follow modes. These settings could be configured based on your own personal preferences. For single RC transmitter setup, we recommend setting pan control to follow mode. The follow speed can be selected as slow, medium, or fast based on your preferences. We recommend slow setting. This button unlocks the advanced settings below. Neutral point calibration is for whether you want the gimbal to return to neutral during initialization. We recommend leaving this setting to on. Gimbal neutral point settings are sub-trims for the neutral position of each axis. For example, if you observe slight roll offset after initialization, this slider can be used to adjust the neutral point to remove the offset. The same adjustment can be done with the pan axis. Over here, we have settings for the panoramic photo function. In this mode, gimbal will be tilting 4 different angles while shooting. The number of shots at each angle can be adjusted here with a maximum of 24. The default for level is to take 12 shots, down 30 degrees to have 8 shots, down 60 degrees to have 4 shots, and down 90 degrees to have only 1 shot. Of course, you can also disable the angles which you don't need to take any shots. This is all adjustable based on your own personal preferences. Now we will go through the last settings page. Click on the Advanced Setting button to unlock the settings. On the left side, we have pan to roll offset compensation. Normally, this setting does not need to be changed. It is only needed if you notice any horizontal shift during pan motion. To adjust, place a bubble level on top of the camera. Use the pan control to make gimbal rotate clockwise. If you notice tilting toward the left side, move the compensation slider toward the left. Move the compensation slider toward the right if you notice the gimbal tilting toward the right side. Remember, the pan motion must be turning clockwise when doing this adjustment. On this right window, we have the tilt maximum angle setting. Default setting is 90 degrees. It can be adjusted to any angles between 60 and 120 degrees. For example, if you increase it to 100 degrees, the gimbal will tilt up to 100 degrees maximum. This concludes the Align Gimbal Interface Software version 2.1 demonstration. Thank you for watching.